Good morning. This is Shani. I don't know what's going on site. I'm just trying to keep up with about 5 or 6 different little blogging comments. There's usually not a TOS on Lois's site, so of course I'm interested. Like, what? Well, there is a TOS on that site. I'm trying to faint. Anyway, I noticed that somebody mentioned Abby and Bunyip. And as far as the other one, well, he's whatever. But I'm going to see something about Abby and Bunyip. Nobody ever does, so I'll gossip about them. Sorry, you guys. Abby is incredibly well-centered. She doesn't feel like she needs to prove anything, number one. And number two, she likes to listen. From my perspective, I mean, she has her own feelings, her own opinions. She just chooses not to get in an argument over her opinions or how she feels. Bunyip is about the same, and I know Ethan a little better than most. He's a quiet guy. He's just quiet. He doesn't like confrontation, and no matter which side anybody's on, he just doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. And I proposed that Abby doesn't either. Abby, especially, she's not a fighter. I mean, she'll stick up for indignation or what she views as it. She's human, but I can't see those two getting into a row with anybody. They're just not the type. They like to put opinions in, and it's usually very, well thought out. That's who they are. Which, now I'll get up, Abby and poor Bunny. These are types. These are types of people. There's Jeffrey and J Fry and PB, and PB has less of a volatile nature as far as swearing. He just doesn't swear. Sometimes he does, but it's rare, and it can be overlooked. Well, it can be overlooked by me anyway. PB is opinionated. He's certain about things, and that's the way it is. It's his opinion. It's also his personality, And then there's J Fry. Well, J Fry has to call everybody names. So finally learned that I'm not going to take it too personally. He thinks everybody's left. I don't know. I don't think PB does. And there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to try to do anything about that. That's just J Fry. Do I like him? It's true. In real life, I don't know. On the net, J Fry and I just, no matter what we do, we can run into each other in the middle of an internet stream, and I swear to God, there's an argument. No matter what, we're going to argue. Right? Just that personality clash that definitely there's a problem. Frank, he's the owner. He has to, or feels he has to stay very fair, and it's a good place to be. And then there's our moderator, and he is very fair. This is his site. But he's not fair at other people's sites. Growl. Anyway, but he's a good person. Yeah, he's young, talented, but he's fair. So you've got a moderator that's fair. There's Lori, who has a exact feeling. She's not exactly as opinionated as most. She tends to listen and show her a point, show her proof. Where did you read it? Where, tell her more. She'll tell you what she knows, and she doesn't tend to make things up she doesn't have an ego. She's not ego driven. She just states the facts as she knows them, and a non-fighter. She likes to talk things through. Tim is who he is. I mean, he's lighthearted. His jokes, but he definitely has an opinion about the war, and I understand that. There's an opinions. Niles. I just feel that people need to make vids, that if they're going to have such strong opinions like Nigel, and of course I want to mention names, I'm talking to you, Nigel, it would be nice if you made a vid and people can have a conversation with you on another vid. It goes back and forth instead of all this back and forth of reading. Because personally, my eyes are weak right now, and it's hard to read these conversations and arguments. Yeah, it really is. So, it's just hard. The only reason Aurora's not on here is because she's not old enough yet. And if she did, I'd like to hear her opinion. I'm sure it makes sense. We've got a lot of people on here that are, got Ja, and Ja feels a certain way about the war, and by God, it's his opinion, but also, he has a lot to say there, and there's many of us, it has nothing to do with being left or right, it has to do with watching our kids die. Our young people, our older people, I mean, there's a lot of people that got called in that have not been on active duty for a long time, and they were called in for medical reasons. They're old medics. So there's a lot going on that is just not very fair. Of course, war is never fair. I'm not saying it is. And the others with their very strong opinion. It takes a strong opinion. People with their opinions have convictions, and those convictions are very much laid in a base where they have seen too much and they're tired of it. And then there's me, I prefer the library. The web has some stuff on it. Some of it's inaccurate, and some of it's very accurate. But to be honest with you, the library, even though you're looking at lots and lots of like batteries dying, of course it is, right in the middle of lots and lots of opinions on the internet. But on the library, you get lots and lots of books that you have to look up one chapter to the next. And they're never in the same damn book. That I know. But they do lead you at least to an idea of what could have happened. And, as far as it being a multi-thing of destruction and plot, no, George Bush Jr. did not set out there and plan this with everybody around him. He had a lot of reasons to go to war, and his reasons may have said one thing, but his thoughts were another. To be honest with you, he always promised Saddam Hussein that he would get even. And I believe thoroughly that was part of his reason. Maybe not all of it, but part of it. And I don't know, with my father in the White House and picking on him all the time, and God knows every president president gets yelled at. I may feel the same way. I do know that George Bush did not force this war. He was one of them, but there was also Hillary Clinton on the left side, and Bill Clinton, and Obama. We're talking about people that said go to war, and this is both sides, and both sides wanted war. There was only 2 people I know of that said no war. One man was here in Washington State. I can't remember his name because I never vote for him. And then, of course, Paul Rand and or Ron Paul. Sorry. It's just, this is the way it is and was. Nobody said don't go to war. If they had of, maybe we would have not of. Was there weapons of mass destruction? Of course, Bush was told there was weapons of mass destruction. I believe that he believed it. I believe that there wasn't weapons of mass destruction, but of course, President Bush did believe that. Why wouldn't he? He has to depend on these people to tell him the truth. If they don't tell him the truth, he did his best. It's like saying, well, Obama, blah, blah, blah. And this president's he's been getting the same crap, and there's so much crap going on right now that I don't know. I'm still waiting for the Civil War to happen here in the United States. I think I'm more worried about my own country because of the race divisions, which are very real. And I'm in a open-minded city, the Seattle, Washington, and I am seeing a lot of stress. Things have changed which hadn't changed before. So I could go on that later, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff, and I'm not blaming on the left or the right on that one. This is serious, and it's nothing to debate about. It's something to probably do something about or help, or I don't know. I don't know what to do if I was in the middle of the Civil War, let alone another Civil War, which is probably going to happen. Anyway, enough of me. I'll talk to you later. And yeah, it's so much fun being an owner.